I guess this is just what happens when you wear like a dark shirt, when you got a dark background. Oh well. Hey everyone, it's NatePTK, aka The Floating Head, ready to give you the second last E-League team preview for the season. We're traveling down the road today to CommBank Stadium to have a look at the Western Sydney Wanderers. All right, that's a bit better. Anyway, Western Sydney Wanderers in the A-League in FIFA 22. If you know what we're getting at here, we are looking for 2 starters and 2 substitutes. Each E-League competitor must have 2 A-League players from the club they're representing on the pitch at all times. Now, you know, my first thought is always to look for pace when checking out these 4 items. And there's a couple with decent pace, but what I have noticed with Western Sydney Wanderers, the amount of 4 items that have a really good weak foot, which has started to come up quite a bit in this series. So look, shout out to Terry Antonis. Unfortunately, he doesn't make it to one of my selected A-League players, but 5-star weak foot. Well, it does kind of feel like the longer we go in this series, the more difficult the selections are going. As always, let me know in the comments, wherever you're watching, what you think. But here are mine. 4 players, 2 subs. My second substitute is Ziggy Gordon. Ziggy Gordon, typically a center back, meaning he could work really well in those 3 and 5 at the back formations. I'm pretty sure we're going to see a lot this E-League, but there's no reason why he can't also do a job as a fullback or wingback, maybe even be a CDM enforcer. The only thing I'll say about Ziggy is that balance is quite low for a defender. I know it's probably not what you're looking most for when you're having a look at these 4 items, but trust, when you get possession of the ball, not falling over, it kind of helps. Substitute number 1 is Bernie Ibini. Bernie's been a hero in many a Sydney derby, admittedly on both sides. And while I do believe that competitors may well use Ibini as a starter, fam, have a look down there at stamina, 31. I'm sorry, I know that he might get subbed off anyway, but for me, Ibini's best impact is as a substitute. Really good pace and agility. Again, that balance is nowhere near what I'd like it to be. But we talked about that 4-star weak foot. I am almost certain we will see Ibini come off the bench, maybe even start and be a factor in some of these goals. All right, my starter number 2 is Baby Bacchus. Keanu Bacchus is a really nice all-round foot item. Admittedly, we're looking more defensively than offensively, but plug him at center back, fullback, wingback, CDM, CM, he's going to get the job done. Good stamina means you could probably deploy him for the full 90 plus minutes, and really good agility. Again, we talked about 4 items that fight for the badge. Bacchus gets stuck in, and he wins that ball back for your team. Now, I know that slide tackle rating attribute is only 66. I don't believe it, fam. Hit that slide tackle with Baby Bacchus. Man goes in, 2 foot, wins that ball back every time. Now, I do realize this is a bit contentious. Maybe you think I'm leaving out some great players altogether. Indeed, I think there's many for the Wanderers that could do a good job. But my number 1 starter is Dimi Petratos. Now, I think the balance of a side works really well if you have both Bacchus and Petratos in your team. Again, Dimi is one of these versatile players in midfield, but I guess he's almost the parallel, the opposite, whatever I'm trying to say, of Bacchus, in that he'll get forward for you well, maybe not so good defensively. It's like if you could just combine the 2 of them, you have the perfect foot item. 4-star weak foot. Again, those attributes are spread out really nicely, feels decent on the ball, challenges for the ball okay, but I'm talking about more than a mid, attacking mid, maybe even as a second striker, depending on your formation. He doesn't have that out-and-out pace, but again, he's a contributor in whatever position. Don't be surprised to see Petratos assisting goals for these competitors for Western Sydney Wanderers in the E-League 2022. And I'm back to having nobody. Let me know your thoughts. Which 4 items, which players would you use if you were competing for Western Sydney in the E-League 2022? I'll be back tomorrow with one final video. We've got Western United, and that's it. Then the competition truly gets underway.